What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we're taking a look at the Bitcoin price on the daily just for a quick recap here on what is going on and why this is such an important level that we need to hold. I'm talking about the 39K range with potential volatility with $1,000 or $2,000 moves in between that range. Now, we're also going to take a look at the Bitcoin price on the 4-hourly. I'm going to show you the major levels, where we are retesting, what are the strongest levels, what kind of patterns I see for the most probable scenario, and also we're going to take a look at Shiba Inu because Shiba Inu does look like it is close to bottoming out and we could see potential moves to the upside in the next coming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned. Hello there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Daily TA on Bitcoin crypto. I also do live streams to connect with the community. I am not a financial advisor, so don't buy or sell anything that I say. And if you do so, do your own research. Let's dive in, guys. If this video gets over 2,500 likes, you comment down below, you are eligible for a giveaway in Bitcoin. So make sure to do that. Let's dive in here straight to the 1-hourly chart. I'm just want to show you how this range, okay, the low 30K levels, and apart from the low 30K, this range over here, the $38,000, $39,000, how it's so important, okay? Let me just zoom out here on the chart and just remind you where we are coming from, okay? We're coming from a big, massive uptrend, okay? And here on the weekly, we are technically still creating kind of higher lows, as you can see on the chart, looking at the very macro perspective. So I just want to show you here with the VPVR also, this right over here was a reaccumulation, this was an accumulation, and now we are sitting above a huge cluster of money, okay? This is basically volume, this is money, and this is mainly buying power. A lot of people have been buying Bitcoin in between $30,000 and $40,000. This is basically billions of dollars. So they would have to sell a lot of Bitcoin for the Bitcoin to successfully break below $30,000, okay? Successfully. We could see some volatility in that range, okay, in the next coming months, no doubt about that, but it's going to be very hard to break this level to the downside. Now, let me just zoom in here on the daily, just to keep it simple. We are still kind of in this uptrend, okay? We got the daily closes that are holding here this trend line, and we're having that consolidation at that area. We also do know that it's a major level looking at the VPVR, okay? Right over here on the 4-hourly, right? If I zoom out and I take a look at the price action in between January till today, all right, this is just over 4 months, we got big volume at that $39,000 range. This is why we are consolidating at this level. It's one of the reasons why. Now, the $42,000 is huge resistance. Now, I do think there is a possibility on retesting that range in the next couple of days, not much than a week, okay? Just a couple of days. It might be in between today and tomorrow even, and I'm going to explain why, with what pattern, and also using Fibonacci time, you know, in just a bit. So let me just zoom in here quickly onto the chart. All right, because it is true that we are in a big aggressive downtrend, okay? No doubt about that. We are creating massive lower highs. But the problem is that we are starting to not create lower lows, okay? Looking at the 4-hourly. Right over here, you do have these aggressive lower lows, as you can see on the chart. We are starting to get supported and create slightly higher lows. Now, it's still a little bit too soon because this could change in between today and tomorrow. Of course, we could just have a big, massive drop. But as you can see, we are getting above this kind of trend line from this lower high trend line. As you can see, it does look like that the price does want to kind of bottom out here in the immediate short term. Of course, this doesn't mean that we're going to go, you know, back up to $48,000, but that we could see a potential more of a relief rally. And I'll explain right now with a couple of patterns. Now, I'm not sure if you watched the latest videos, okay, from a few days ago, that I am eyeing this potential bat pattern, okay? We did form this very similar price action. For any new subscribers, something that I was mentioning also, okay? Very similar price action that we did create from January and February, sorry. And as you can see, very similar price action where we could see that volatility and a potential pump, okay, in the next couple of days. Now, this bat pattern over here, this is a bullish pattern, right? If you take the lowest part here from this consolidation right over here from the start of the pump, you can see, okay, I'll put a picture just above me so you can see the levels here from this bat pattern, all right? Hitting the 382 from from X to A to B, 382, and then the pump, as you can see right over here, okay, to the C point. This doesn't matter. This can be in between the 382 and the 0.88. So it's 0.78 approximately from this wick. But the most importantly is getting that consolidation, that reaction at the 0.88, at the D point. This is a bullish pattern. Now, the targets from this bat pattern is coming all the way to the 44.5K levels. Now, I think this is going to be very, very hard to get up there because we do have a lot of resistance at $42,000. As you know, it's a big cluster on the VPVR, as you can see, one of the biggest points of control from the volume traded in between January till today. And we also do see those reactions as resistance and as support. If I do zoom in on the chart, okay, you do get that big, massive reaction right there, big rejection. We've also got bounces here, until we finally break this resistance. This hasn't been retested since we broke out. So a potential retest in the next couple of days is very, very possible before we might continue down. This is just a scenario that I'm just looking at. Okay, so if I just zoom in here on the 1 hourly here quickly also, I just want to show you how we're also potentially forming a Gartley pattern. This is the 1 hourly chart, okay? When you are in an aggressive downtrend, and guys, sorry, I just cannot be bearish at these levels, okay? This is an extreme low. We have been dropping like crazy. If you want to be bearish, you want to be bearish at, at the top of a major uptrend, right? Not, when you've been dropping now for a week or so, it's just very hard when we see strong support, a lot of confluence. For me, it's very hard to be bearish. Just want to point that out. And I can see some, bullish reactions. Here we also can see a potential bearish Gartley pattern where we do have this spike on the 1 hourly, which is around about the 43.3 to the lows here, to the highs. Nice, almost to in between 50% Fibonacci and 618, which is, very much valid. The correction here coming down to the 0.88 almost, as you can see. And this means that, we are potentially forming this kind of Gartley pattern that can take us to the 0.79, which would take us to around about 42.5K levels. This is very, very, very possible in the next couple of days. Why the next couple of days? Well, basically because of Fibonacci time. I'm not sure if you guys remember of this massive Gartley pattern that we did detect since we were creating this low over here. We were talking about this pattern since we created the low, okay? And that the potential target was coming to around about the $48,000. Then we reached the target, the top of the channel also, as you can see, big massive rejection to come and retest the low part of the channel. Absolutely crazy this was. But not only this, we were taking a look at Fibonacci time and we were talking about the 1-to-1. What is the 1-to-1? If we take a look at trend-based Fib time tool, if we take the high here, to the drop and the correction, as you can see, high, and then the 1-to-1 Fibonacci time comes exactly to the peak here over the pattern. You can see the 618 Fibonacci time, the 1-to-1. So the exact time was the same, from this point, okay? This took the exact same time, okay, to reach to this level, if that's a way to explain it. So if I just go back here onto the 1 hourly, if we are going to see this Gartley pattern play out, all right, and this is on the 1 hourly. The thing is, the larger the time frame, the better for these harmonics. The shorter the time frame, the more volatile, the more unreliable they are. Because if you can't take a look at a Gartley pattern or a harmonic pattern on the 3-minute chart or on the 15-minute chart, okay, they're very unreliable, at least from the 1 hourly chart, in my personal experience and opinion. So if we take a look at this Gartley pattern with Fibonacci time, like I said, from X over here to the highest point, okay, which would be round about this area. It would be this peak or this peak. It's very, very similar area, okay? I would say this one right over here. So from this point to this point, oh my goodness, what's going on? From this point to this point, if this were to take, 1-to-1, in Fibonacci time, we could reach this level, all right, in between today and tomorrow the 17th, okay? There is a possibility that we can reach this range in between today and tomorrow. This is a possibility that could happen. Just wanted to point that out. And let's dive into Shiba Inu, because there's not much thing that I can add here. The bearish case scenario, of course, would be having a little bit of volatility. If I just zoom in here on the chart, bearish case scenario, of course, we are getting that reaction. We are in a downtrend still. We are getting this reaction. If we take a look at the highs to the lows here, we are basically, in between the 618 and the 0.5 Fibonacci, where we are getting, this rejection. If you are, based on macro trends here, you would say that we're just going to create another lower high and we're going to come back down and retest the lows. This is also very possible, okay? But I just think that, the bullish case scenario is more probable. I am in a long position, guys. Of course, you know that. I think that Bitcoin will be fine in the mid-long term. We could see that volatility. We could see the spikes below $39,000. And there is a bigger pattern, in my opinion, to back this potential drop, which is the bat pattern, like I mentioned. Okay, this bat pattern, okay, let me just go to the 4 hourly, is much larger than this small Gartley pattern. We've got a much larger harmonic pattern right over here, and like I said, we could even go slightly lower to the 0.88, okay, which would be around about 38 levels. So I could expect a little bit of volatility still to the downside. Massive big volume. Okay, big cluster, guys. This is huge. You need a huge amount of pressure, selling pressure, to break this zone. No doubt about that. So this is why we are getting this reaction. So there is a possibility that we might retest the lows here at 39K level, get a potential swing failure pattern, and that will be the moment, where I would be heavily into long positions. This long position that I got right now is pretty small, just in case we do get that bounce. Okay, I do see that scenario happening of that Gartley pattern. I do see a retest of 42K levels. And taking a look at Fibonacci time here, let me just get the Fibonacci trend time. If we go to the low, right, to the middle part right over here of the harmonic, we can see that we still have potentially another couple of days. This is the 19th of March. If we were to make a based one-to-one harmonic pattern, we would have to finish at the one-to-one. This would be the ideal scenario. It doesn't have to finish there, but this is just looking at the probabilities, but it would be the ideal. Okay, this just tells you that we do have time to finish this bat pattern, okay? Hitting the one-to-one. We've still got a couple of days. So if I do see that volatility here in the next couple of days, I am personally going to be bullish, because I do see this playing out. If we do get that rejection, swing failure pattern, I do see a potential big bounce, at least to the 42.5K levels. Just a scenario here also that I wanted to point out. Remember, for all of those experienced traders down below on Bybit, you get an insane bonus of up to $4,620. Now, this is my favorite swing trading platform. My favorite day trading platform is PrimeXBT. You get up to $7,000 worth of bonus. You basically get 7% added to your initial deposit. Depending on what you deposit, you get 7% added using Bitcoinsensus 50 as the promotion code. I got full video tutorials of these platforms down below in the description also. Let's just zoom in here 1 second on the 1 hourly, because, all right, I just want to show you, zooming in, taking a look at the VPSV, which is the volume profile basically, but looking at the days. All right, let me just activate this right over here. This right over here is the volume profile, biggest point of control from the everyday, basically looking at the 1 hourly chart. We do have, all right, the thing is that Bitcoin likes to retest this range a lot. Okay, if you have a point of control right over here from 1 day, okay, as you can see, this is a 1 day point of control. You can see right over here, you come back up, you retest it, you get some kind of reaction, right? You also got here a big consolidation. This area hasn't been retested, this point of control right there. This is a strong level. I'm talking about the 41.2. So we might get some kind of reaction at that level also. Now, I just wanted to point out here that beneath us, we haven't retested, all right, these ones over here. We got one over here, we got one over here. There is some big support, as you can see here also, with the point of control from the last few days here, creating big support levels, as you can see. So I think a potential liquidity grab, a retest from larger point of controls over here, as you can see, is very, very possible before we might continue to the downside. This is only my point of view, of course. Anything can happen. Nobody knows what is going to happen. We're just taking a look at the probabilities. And I think this video is going, slightly longer than expected. So let's just jump into Shiba Inu and keep it very simple, okay? I'm not an expert on analyzing altcoins, okay? Altcoins are very volatile. Of course, Bitcoin does have, is the leader. If Bitcoin is bearish, then even though if the altcoins look bullish, we can see that potential bearish reaction on the altcoins. So looking at Shiba Inu right over here, zooming in, we are forming a massive consolidation. You can see that the bearish trend is getting exhausted, finding a kind of floor, okay, area. Now, the reason why we're also consolidating here is because of the massive reaccumulation that we did have over here, mainly buying power. And this is why we are consolidating, as you can see, also creating this big, massive volume profile point of control. Now, a lot of people might think this is still in a big, massive downtrend because we are creating massive lower highs, but we are creating higher lows here, as you can see on the chart. And something that I want to point out here on Shiba Inu, if we do go to the 4-hourly chart and zoom in, we can see that we did have a big, massive spike, okay, here the last few days. This was exactly on the 11th, 12th of April. So big pump with volume, as you can see here with Shiba Inu, okay, going from the 2.2 to the 2.9, getting big rejection on the 4-hourly. On the 1-hourly, you can see there's not that much of a reaction, still huge volume to the upside, big, large consolidation. You could arguably discuss that this is a kind of a bear flag, right? That you are creating a bull flag, sorry, right over here, right? Or a pennant. You're creating, these lower highs, nice consolidation at this range. You could see a little bit of more volatility, but what I want to explain here is that, we've had a very, very nice scalp opportunity on Shiba Inu, just a few days ago, where we did have this big resistance level. This is looking at the 1-hourly. This is the 2.5 level, okay, looking at Shiba Inu. Now, we did have a massive big breakout. We retested the low here and got a huge, massive bounce. And we must have hit around about the 618. If we take a look at the highs here to the lows, the 618 to perfection. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. This is the kind of day trade that I would take, okay, where we have a breakout from a major resistance level at the 2.5, come back up, retest this major resistance into support, and take profit here at the 618 on this bounce. So absolutely beautiful reaction over here. But what I want to explain here is that Shiba Inu is potentially going to get pretty nice support at this level, okay? We are potentially going to hold because the volume is going low, so not much selling pressure. It looks like it is getting ready for a potential retest of the highs after this large consolidation. Now, something ideal would be here on Shiba Inu coming down to retest the 618 Fibonacci. So a little bit of more volatility to the 618 from this major pump. We almost touched it here, almost. So potential a little bit more volatility is very, very possible before we continue to the upside. If we do come down to that level and go sideways, this is going to be looking very bullish in my personal opinion. Overall, we've only got a few more weeks for Shiba Inu to end in this big kind of symmetrical triangle. It's not that symmetrical, but we are technically creating higher lows right over here, and we are creating also lower highs, as you can see on the chart. So this has only got a few more weeks to decide if we are finally going to break to the upside or we finally going to break to the downside. And just taking a look at Shiba here and zooming out, the probabilities for me after this large drop that we did have and nice long consolidation, I think there is a slightly more probability in breaking to the upside in the coming weeks than actually breaking to the downside, if you wanted my personal opinion here, looking at Shiba Inu. Guys, thank you very much. Make sure to check out the Bitcoinsensus website. We do have the latest news and technical analysis ideas here. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.